now here's Steve Dimmick to tell us about Ignite Cardiff.
So Ignite Cardiff is a bi-monthly event. It's a free event happening on Wednesday nights, and it's a night of talks. So we get 10 speakers each and every time, and they talk about everything and anything.
I would make my 8th grade crush, Madelha Glago, fall madly in love with me, that they would win me the most hilarious and fantastic pupil of all time award. They'd make me taller, which to be fair, they are platforms, so, and they would make me less awkward.
So in the past we've had anything from gingerism to just effing do it, to musical ones where people have come along and performed the history of jazz in 5 minutes, or a history of piano music. We've had making money from a guy who works at the Royal Mint. That was a really good one. We've had the plight of Swifts, how Swifts are dying away. We've had people talking about batteries and energy efficiency. So they can be really varied. Generally they fall into 3 main topics though. Educational, where people pick things up that they maybe knew a little bit about, but then suddenly it really opens their eyes to it. Inspirational, where someone's maybe been in a dark place and then gone on to achieve something great. Or just plain funny. We had a great talk by a guy called Mike Jordan about why I love the valleys, and he talked about his life living in my stig, and that was just awesome, really, really good.
So-and-so lived down the road, he's got screws, you want an hammer, I'll give you a hammer. They were actually really nice to me, so yeah, it turns out I quite like the valleys. I quite like the way that these guys are talking to me, and they give a about people and people and people. And it's a lovely community, you know. What happens now, years later, is I've got like old women that'll turn up on the door for my presents and cards for my kids, and they'll go, "Hiya, Mike," and I'll, "Hiya. So how's the business?" I have no idea who these people are. They come year after year giving me stuff. But what's beautiful is I'll talk to her, and she'll take in all this information. She'll go down the road, she'll speak to someone else, and that person will speak to someone else, and I'll bump into that person. They'll tell me everything that I didn't even know about myself, right?
I think the interesting thing we have is now we're up to almost 500 people at the last event. And the interesting thing is that the crowd was split. So there were a third who were regulars, so our 21st event this week, a third that had been a few times but were coming back, and then a third that were complete newbies. And generally they tend to be people who are coming to see their friends or family. And the reaction tends to be, as you kind of expect with a really mixed night, there's 10 talks, people will pick out 2 that they really like. And the interesting thing is that because there's such a broad cross-section, not everyone picks the same speakers. So the good thing is that you come along, and it may be that the talks aren't of interest, but they only last for 5 minutes. So before you know it, it's over, and then the next thing's on, and that could be something that floats your boat.
And that's what it's like. So there's so much beauty in the valleys, and from moving from where I was from and then to go up there, yeah, my eyes were open to the generosity of spirit.
So this Wednesday, really excited. I think it could be arguably our best Ignite Cardiff yet. We've got a whole bunch of different speakers. Sticking in my mind are 5 reasons that Britain should stay in the EU. We've got a guy talking about horoscopes, another guy talking about a fit mind means a fit body, and then we've got a lovely lady talking about why masturbation is a naughty word. So if that doesn't give you a feeling for the variety of talks we have, then I don't know what will.
And for anyone that's actually lost their identity because they're spending too much time in chapter arts with your lovely beards, and you're reading poetry and you've forgotten what it's like to be Welsh, get up to the valleys, spend some time, sit on a sofa outside a house and talk to the neighbours, and they'll talk to you. Sad thing is, the valleys are dying, okay? And it's a sad, sad fact. This is our lifeblood, okay? And these places are dying because there's a lack of engagement with young people. There's a lack of engagement. There's no ideas. There's no one's going up there, and no one's kind of talking because there's just too much stigma attached to it. So we've all got to get together, and we've got to save the valleys if we can. Get up there, spend some money, go and see some exhibitions, and just be part of it and feel part of it.